Hello, Comets. So originally, I was going to do the scariest thing I could possibly think of. A really long and detailed German lesson. Like, you were gonna learn German from that lesson. Like, if you didn't know anything, you were gonna know something by the end. But it turned into a really complicated project, and I didn't know, if anyone would ever actually watch it. And so I had some other stuff I had to do, and that's not what we ended up doing. So instead, we have Halloween story time. A broken god in heaven. Many of them have poked and prodded into all aspects of what I maintain was my true life. They often ask about things I have no memory of, like what it was like to be a baby, or how many people I met during my life. They have no conception of what it means to forget. They have almost never asked how it ended, perhaps because the idea of life ending is so foreign to them. It ended simply enough, though. It was on my birthday. I've tried many times to explain to them what a birthday is. That is the day we were born each year, and that I died on my 40th birthday. But these things, these creatures, smarter than the greatest geniuses of the earth, stare at me dumbfounded. If birth is the beginning of your life, and a birthday is the day you were born, how can your same life begin more than once? They asked. I've tried over and over to explain the year cycle and the week and even the lunar cycles, the tide to these creatures, but it's impossible for them to grasp. It was my birthday, my 40th birthday, something I was not happy about. I had made a point of never telling anyone my birthday so they would not drag me into a celebration of what only felt like a marker of my coming death. I had no party to get to. I wasn't in any kind of rush, just absent mindedly driving along onto the highway, staring into the bright headlights of someone driving into oncoming traffic. Although, as my memories twist and turn, as my true life really does fade from my existence, I'm unsure if I even have this detail right. Perhaps I was the one who had mistakenly driven onto the wrong side of the highway. That is when I woke up here, with one of these creatures softly rubbing my thorax with their tentacle, their four eyes beaming down upon me from across their great beak. That is how I found myself in this place, with these creatures, who claim that I am one of them, and that strolling about one day I simply fell and started raving about my life as a human, lost in an inconceivable madness. I must admit that parts of what they say are undoubtedly true, that I do have whatever amorphous form passes as a body for these creatures, that in this place I never forget anything, although I can hardly say anything here is worth remembering, and it is true that I have a store of memories from before, as one of these creatures. Before my life as a human, my true life had begun. But among these creatures I can find no understanding. They have no fear, no anxiety. They cannot understand what it is for something to end or to forget something that was, much less to anticipate that end ahead of time. Even now, even here, I can feel the end coming. Although my memories from this place are stone and unchanging, I feel the memories about my human life wobble and change, and I know that someday they will disintegrate. I will not remember what it was like to be a human, to be a real person, and I will be left with the memory of remembering. I will become like these things, uncaring and immortal. That is why I'm making this record, to keep the memory of my life alive, to keep my true self alive for as long as possible. I spend all the time I can with Ekorm, who is the only one of these creatures really interested in the mortals that live below us. He has studied them and is the most understanding. Once, after spending a long time asking me various questions, he asked me if I thought what I experienced might be what the humans called a dream. If I could be the first of our kind, sucked into some delirious dream. If that is the case, then I am an immortal being that has only ever lived once in a nightmare, and I clutch and hold on to that nightmare to the best of my ability, even as I can feel it evaporate from my mind. So this is a departure from what we normally do here. Normally we talk about stories and language some, and I've been, for Halloween, for October, we've been talking about some H.P. Lovecraft stories, which are interesting. But there's plenty of other stuff. But if you'd like to, talk some about some other stories, we can do that. Or if you really liked hearing something I wrote, you can leave a comment saying so. And this might be something we do again in the future. But don't forget to drop me a like. And remember, good day, good night, good potato.